Plastic, a ubiquitous material that's now inside our bodies too. It's an astonishing invention, inexpensive, lightweight, and endlessly adaptable. From shopping bags to life-saving medical tools, it's clean, safe, and can be sterilized. Depending on its use, it can be disposable, as in medical settings where hygiene is paramount, or durable enough to last for years. Surprisingly, plastic can even have environmental benefits due to its light weight, which reduces fuel consumption in transportation. But our reliance on plastic has led to a staggering 414 million tons produced globally in 2023, a figure that continues to climb annually. Plastic is a component of countless everyday objects. Consider a toothbrush. The bristles are typically made of nylon, while the handle is often constructed from lightweight polyethylene or polypropylene. A manual toothbrush might have a volume of 8.5 to 19 centimeters cubed. Over time, it can break down into microplastics, fragments smaller than 5 millimeters, or all the nanoplastics, which are 1,000 times smaller. If microplastics can be as small as 1 micrometer, about the size of a bacterium, or even 0.1 micrometers, roughly the size of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, a single toothbrush could theoretically fragment into 8.5 to 19 trillion microplastics. And these particles are small enough to be inhaled or ingested. Plastics don't simply disappear in the environment, they break apart. Sunlight, particularly ultraviolet B, UVB radiation, causes plastic to become brittle. Physical stress, waves, wind, abrasion, fractures it into ever smaller pieces. Even the state of the stratospheric ozone layer, which regulates the amount of UVB reaching Earth, can influence the rate at which plastics degrade. Some bacteria and fungi can also contribute to the breakdown of certain plastics. But this process is slow and often incomplete. The outcome? The majority of plastic waste ends up as a soup of micro and nanoplastics circulating through our environment. While larger plastic debris can inflict visible harm, such as entangling wildlife or being ingested by seabirds, microplastics pose a subtler but potentially more pernicious threat. Microplastics have now been discovered within 1,300 species of invertebrates and are present at every level of the food chain. These particles are oil-like, hydrophobic, enabling them to cross biological membranes and enter the cells of living organisms. Unlike water-loving, hydrophilic particles, such as grains of sand, which follow a different biological pathway. Their size is also significant. Smaller particles can travel more easily within the body, reaching organs far from their initial point of entry. Exposure can occur through swimming in polluted water or via food and drink, either because the food itself contains plastic particles, such as seafood from contaminated waters, or because it's been contaminated during packaging or industrial processing. Micro and nanoplastics can also be inhaled in airborne dust, particularly in certain workplaces, such as textile manufacturing or sandblasting with plastic-based materials. In everyday life, we can inhale synthetic fibers shed from our clothes or tiny particles released from tire wear. Once inside, microplastics have been found to move, a process called translocation, within animals, a phenomenon that has not yet been observed in humans. Evidence now reveals that micro and nanoplastics are present in human liver, kidney, lung, spleen, blood, heart, and brain. In one study, nanoplastic shards of polyethylene were detected in human brains, at higher concentrations than in the liver and kidney. They have been found in the fat plaque in arteries, which is linked to cardiovascular problems. They have also been found in the placenta and breast milk, suggesting that these particles can be transferred across generations. Given the prevalence of plastics in food and drink, Their presence in the human body is unsurprising, but detecting them is technically challenging. Samples are often collected in hospital environments where plastics are ubiquitous, creating a high risk of contamination. But are they harmful? Researchers are beginning to investigate associations between plastic particles and human health conditions, including cardiovascular disease, pulmonary fibrosis, a lung disease in which tissue becomes scarred and stiff, making it harder to breathe, as well as liver and bowel disease. But the science is still in its infancy. Large-scale epidemiological studies, which could take years to complete, will be needed to determine whether plastics directly cause these illnesses. The emerging picture is not reassuring. While scientists are still uncovering the full scope of risks, the precautionary principle suggests we should act now to reduce exposure. That means continuing to track how plastics break down, how they enter our bodies, and what they might be doing once inside. Microplastics are no longer just an environmental issue. They're a public health concern. And because plastic production continues to rise, the scale of the problem is likely to grow before it contracts.